Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Hello everybody, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the second season of the NASCAR Class C Maconi Setup Shop Fix Series. This evening, we are excited to bring you top split action from the weekly Strength of Field race from the recreated Auto Club Speedway. No, this isn't right. From Atlanta. From the new Atlanta. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you the action from all types of racing, including the weekly Fast Friday series. No matter what you are racing, we can bring the action to life. My name is Chris Wright, and joining me in the booth is Brayton Lassiter with Bradley Cooper working the controls as our producer. Brayton, Atlanta is a long and bumpy track with a few different lanes to make work. With that in mind, what can we expect to see here tonight?
Yeah, this is a very tricky track. You see the banking there, about 24, 28 degrees, and not as banked on the trial compared to other super speedway type tracks. You're looking at 3 degrees, and it's pretty flat. Daytona, for example, is about 10 to 15 degrees along with Talladega, so that's going to be real hard on tires. You're going to see a lot of tight moves being made there. And most super speedways are only 2 miles, this one 1.5 miles, so not a lot of wiggle room. One bad bump, and you can be out of it for good.
Yeah, and this is wrapping up the season. This is the final race. We're going to crown a champion. So take me through. I have not seen a whole lot of the action from the rest of the season about the point situation and what needs to happen for certain guys tonight.
Yeah, it's been a crazy set of events. I mean, we started all the way back, and now we are ready to crown one champion. It's been a long 12 weeks of fighting, and you look at Dean Brown, they're currently with a 118-point lead. For reference, he lost a 130 points to Jacob Snyder. Actually, not even Jacob Snyder, to Jonathan Tuckness last week. Tuckness dropped about 200 points. You see him there in that 8th spot. He was second going into last week. So some of these guys not quite the night they needed to have last week. Dean Brummett looking to rebound, but with it being Atlanta, anything can happen. You got some guys there like Dakota Long and Ryan Andrew in 3rd and 4th, only 2 points apart, and Malik Ray and Sean Anderson making their top 10 points debut, or at least for Malik Ray, he's returning to it. Anderson new in this top 10 game, so good to see some of these guys back up here, and only 1 point between these two. But Dean Brummett not quite locked up yet, very easily to lose points here at a track like this.
Yeah, big gap. You know, he needs a lot of things to happen to lose it, but this is the right track. Atlanta is one of those super speedways, like you mentioned, that's I've heard it compared to Talladega in a gymnasium, kind of like they used to say about Bristol, so it should be an exciting race. Now, as far as qualifying is wrapped up, only 10 guys made laps, so that tells me track position, they don't believe it's going to matter too much here at the start. But what about picks to win? You got anybody you guys are looking at tonight that you think is going to win, and do you think that Dean will hold on to this title?
I mean, Dean hasn't really performed all that great on these tracks. I mentioned he has had 6 top 5s previously going into last weekend and lost that top 5 streak at Auto Club. He got second at iRacing Super Speedway, but there was a huge wreck, and he performed on and off. Talladega, though, this wasn't really his strong suit, it seemed. Tuckness put on a clinic, it seemed, there, and so Tuckness, falling back in points, looking to rebound a little bit. I think tonight's his night to make up some lost ground. Always a strong runner. Malik Ray is always a strong powerhouse whenever he comes and runs these races. So there's a lot of good options. I mean, this track is very unique. You can be great at Daytona or Talladega and to struggle here. So it's kind of anyone's game.
So give me your pick right now, real quick. You just went over a lot of things. Who do you
I'm
have
going to go with
winning
Malik
the
Ray.
race and the championship?
I'm going to go with Malik Ray for the win. I'm going to go ahead and I want to say Jacob Schneider steals it from Dean on the. Dean's led it for the first, for the last 5 or 6 weeks at least, but I think Schneider's going to get it.
All right, I think Dean will win the championship, and I will take I'll take Dean to win the race as well. And for those of you who missed our first few weeks of the S.O.F race coverage, this is iRacing's version of the cream of the crop. It's where all the top drivers expect to compete not only for race wins, but for a division championship and for the overall title of the series. No fast repairs tonight. We just wrapped up two lap qualifying, 40 laps. At what point do you think these guys are going to come get tires, or will they come get tires?
Tires is the name of the game. You see the lineup board we're going through here. Malik Ray is one that I keep talking about him. He's a great driver on and off C6, but you guys got like Truther and whatnot. Kind of outside the top 10. Thomas Reed, Hogan, J-Bo, Justin Botello, Justin Fuller, Snyder, Maconi. A lot of these guys are regulars you see in the social media world. Like guys like Jordan Brookley, Scott Ricard, Ryan Joyner, Brady Powers too, riding out the field. You don't see a lot of these guys too often racing the C6 S.O.F races. Some of them are regulars, others not so much.
Yeah, well, the pace car is off. We are about ready to go. Green with Edward Sanchez on the pole. Green is out. Pretty even start up at the front. We're going to see a lot of pushing, a lot of shoving. We won't get a lot of separation tonight. Immediately, Benjamin's going to pull down and get to the bottom. Push all over that 14. We're seeing the bottom line be the place to be right here on this restart. 81's backing up in the top. We got one dropping out of line there. Head down into turn 3.
Let's see that common on the race right here. 40 laps, hopefully you don't see many. That's Demos, one of the few cars hopping there. He might look pretty far back, but you can get the draft off these trucks for around a second or so back. So dropping off, going to the back like that, especially with no fast repairs, these drivers are really treating it like it's the last lap. They're almost 10 down. You see a hard block being thrown. So some of these guys that aren't really playing too nice early in this one, they're racing like it's the last lap and they're coming to the checkered flag.
Yeah, we saw Benjamin get down to the bottom, then pull out, get the push. Now he's leading the race. We also saw in the front, contact there at second place. They escaped without incident there. Not going to get that lucky all night long. But you'll see down the front stretch here, no line in effect here, no red line. That's what we have here. Looks like they can just run anywhere. 3 wide right up at the front. Benjamin all of a sudden wasn't able to be in a lane. He's going to be in the middle 3. Leader gets sideways, nearly 4 wide here.
That just doesn't work. This track is actually not as wide as other super speedways. Only about 40 feet wide. Daytona, I think, is about 40 to 45, and Talladega is a lot more.
Oh, contact! We got a spinner. It's the 81 machine.
Yellow flag.
I'm not sure who that was.
Looking pretty destroyed there. Front nose, bumper. We have no fast repairs tonight, so it's not like you can come down and just get that thing fixed. Especially at a track like this. Atlanta is such a unique track in its own. It's not like a super speedway. It's not like an intermediate. It's an inner speedway, per se. And having the front damage like that, you see the 81, they're kind of stuck up top. It's coming out of turn 2. You see him kind of poke 4 wide there and just going down the backstretch, just run out of room. And you try to get down as fast as you can. You see that's Dean Brummett kind of inside of him. And the truck behind Dean comes up, tags him into the wall, they go.
Yeah, and that's John Hagan there. That is car number 18. And he got wrecked by the other Mountain Dew car. That's the 11. So both Mountain Dew cars come together down there. One thing down the backstretch, as you mentioned, that wasn't going to work when they got 3, almost 4 wide. A bunch of guys bailed out right there and maybe saved their race. Coming off of 2, there was 2 or 3 guys that just pulled down, saw that, and said, you know what, it's too early for this. And it very well could have saved their race.
Yeah, Joey Masevich staying out here to inherit the lead from that when we saw him part of that four-wide action. Some guys electing to pit, some not so much. Tires aren't a huge deal at a track like this. You have the banking to carry you, but it can absolutely eat them up if you need to put 15, 20, 25 laps on a set. I don't think fuel's going to be a problem at all, really. So some of these guys electing to gamble a little bit in Atlanta. I don't think it'll make a huge difference, except that track position is what you want, but sometimes it can be a bad curse.
All right, we're going to get a quick word from our sponsors here. Stay with us, and we'll be back right after this.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back here to the Maconi Setup Shop Truck C Fixed live on iRacing. Looking to crown a champion here. We're already down to 35 to go, 34 to go. We're going to come to the green this time with Joey out front, Edward, Benjamin, Justin, and our point leader currently running in the 5th position. As we've seen with that last run, though, these wrecks can start right up at the front. Pace car is off. Restart zone. Leader is gone. Green flag. A little bit of a jam up here on the top.
And that's Joey Masevich there, 64 on your screen, 13 in sim, leading the crowd to the point. Still kind of side by side. A lot of trucks still trying to fan out. They're going to see a lot of guys go to the bottom here and try to get the heck out of here. Very common strategy they're talking about the last year. So they got one up in the wall almost, actually in the wall. Huge bumps going. No one daring to go to the apron yet, as Joey's actually going to lose the lead almost for a second. That's Edward Sanchez trying to make the middle line work, and then we got the high side coming. A lot of drivers really not waiting a whole lot to go. I mean, they're trying to fan out, make as much room and real estate as they can. So far, everyone is still in there except for that 18 and slash 81. John Hagan is calling out that 3 wreck. He has gone ahead and bailed out, and he's done for the night. They're still side by side. They're trying to tear some more stuff up, Chris. I don't know about you.
Yeah, they've been connected up there on that top side ever since the restart. I was very surprised to see him just push him all the way through 1 and 2. And they stayed connected until he pulled back to the bottom. Got the 14, got clear, pulled back to the bottom. He is now the leader as we head down the front stretch. Oh, looking 3 wide. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead here. No help to the bottom or the middle, really, at this point. Very tight 3 wide. Oh, I think we lost him again. Oh, here we go. Big pack race, 3 by 3. Leader's out front. Got to pick a lane. He blocks, and we're going to get a big crash here. Maybe. What a say. Oh, here we go. Caution's going to come out. What a great piece of driving there by everybody, though. That could have been absolutely catastrophic. Maybe even should have been catastrophic.
Yeah, we're getting away with a lot of cheap ones tonight. I don't know how we haven't wrecked the entire field yet.
They got 3 by 3 by 3 there going down the backstretch. You'll see it right here on the Maconi Entertainment replay. All of a sudden, the middle forms and everybody jumps. The leader has to block one lane. He blocks the bottom. Contact behind him. Somehow everybody stays straight. The 14 is going to get spun here. It's kind of a half spin, and that's what brings the yellow out. But you could argue that he never even spun completely around, not barely enough for a yellow.
We should have sent the entire field packing home in that one corner of a lap alone.
That's
No one really looks too bad. Obviously, some guys won't be in as competitive equipment now, especially with the aero damage as sensitive as it is here. But everyone, for the most part, keeps it going straight. I don't think anyone's really out of it yet. We're going to see as they come down, who has more damage or not. Also, these trucks are very easy to fix with the damage model, so I don't think anyone's have too much damage or anyone really out of it. Like, I think this is going to keep everyone going for the most part.
Yeah, there is no wait and let's see what happens with the first half of this race, or everybody take a breather. It's on kill from the drop. As we got a car stopping, something was up with the Valvoline truck there leaving pit road. He stopped, let some guys go, and then took off again. That's Ryan Joyner there. Not sure if that was maybe a play to try to get towards the back or what.
Now, Joyner had a little bit of damage, not really. Number 14 of Sanchez, he saw kind of caused that wreck. He came up a little bit into Justin there, and nothing he could have done. But I don't think there was no damage. Actually, he just said in chat he had no damage. So damage not really a big factor on that wreck. Obviously, we can wad them all up in the next corner as they're getting ready to try us one more time. We still got 30 laps to go almost.
Yeah, but now you're getting to the point where you've only got 30 laps to go, and we've had just a handful of green flag laps, just a couple, and so these cautions keep coming like this. It's
you start to run out of time. You start to worry, hey, am I going to have time to make this move? And you start to just go faster. Like, not faster, but you might take a move that you necessarily wouldn't have if you had 20, 30, 45 laps to go and no cautions. But you can't really predict them, so you just got to make a move whenever you get a chance. And it doesn't matter if you spin the guy and kill the whole field behind us. You got the move you got to make if you want to go for a win here.
Yeah, I think this might be typical iRacing style. Come down to maybe that third green-white checkered and see what's left.
We've actually averaged not that many cautions on super speedways. We've averaged about 3.6 across the entire season. That's Dover, that's Charlotte, that's the entire schedule, the entire 12-week schedule going into this, and we've only really averaged 3 or so per super speedways. For the short track, we've had average up to like 10 earlier in the season. So obviously, there's still a lot of room to go, a lot of room to wreck, but historically speaking, cautions are not the name of the game here.
Well, maybe tonight they just figure it's the last one of the season. They know what they've got. They know that the championship is likely out of reach for them, and just going to send it.
I mean, some of the guys not be able to win a championship, but a lot of them are still kind of going with a vengeance. Like we talk about a lot of those tight point battles inside the top 10. As you see the lights are off on the pace, everyone tries one more time here in a little bit. But I mean, a lot of tight battles. And you really want to make the most of it. Interesting strategy as we get ready to go green here. Some of the guys pitted on the second lap it was open to intentionally go to the back. To see a lot of guys on the inside, single file, only about 7 trucks on the outside lane.
Yeah, they go to the back, and then they got 3 wide real quick, but the pace car's off in the restart zone. Green is out. Leader gets a great jump there. Not a lot of help for him. Got 2 cars pushing on the top. I think he sees that he's moved up the track a little bit there, maybe to be in front of them. Drops back to the bottom.
That was Benjamin White led the field to green at that time. Was quick to get to the outside and try to block it. Now try and play bottom low, bottom high. And
oh man, I do not.
Dean Bromett.
Yeah, I do not know about throwing these blocks this early. Everybody wants to be Dale Jr. and I don't know about that on iRacing. These runs come way too big to think you're going to block everybody.
You see that black 316 there behind our leader, and a shout out Malik Ray didn't have the greatest qualifying effort. Qualified 11th. I just saw him go below that red line through trial. Wasn't able to find a hole, but tried to send it. Obviously, you're able to race down there, but some of these guys don't really respect, and they will not let you up. Malik Ray came into that lap 7th and fell all the way back, almost outside the top 10. Said on the radio he wasn't really too happy about them blocking him out. So we're going to see him try it again. Already the only truck going below that red line. It's very handy. You can make a lot of good moves on it.
Here we go.
Split people 3 wide. Speaking of 3 wide, they're going for it now.
Yeah, I heard him say, like you did, next time they'll wreck, he's not lifting for him. So these guys do not really like people using that bottom side, but I think if you're going to stay at the front, you're going to have to get down there and run down there. So we're seeing a lot of more cars riding. You mentioned it there when they were coming to the green. A lot of guys just hanging out back behind the field. We'll see if that strategy pays off or not. Malik once again looking. Oh, we got contact up at the front. One car's turned. Is that Dean?
I believe that is. That was Dean Brumman. They're going to get a replay here. Coming off the corner, that's Justin Fuller behind that 316. Dean Fuller's second truck there, gets this bad bump, gets loose, goes for a spin, and barely keeps it off the inside wall. Dean Brumman, while safe, keeping his championship hopes alive.
Yeah, I'm not sure there. Justin, I think, was trying to pull out the pass, and he never got out there and just turned it. So Dean's probably going to be pretty frustrated about that. But like you said, we're likely going to get more yellows, so he kept it off the wall. He's got something to race with. He should be okay.
Yeah. He's still in a good position to come back, especially if we get some more of those like we talked about. You got Ben White and Malik Ray side by side for the lead. Malik finally was able to make that middle move stick. Call him middle move Malik. And he's now going to the lead with some help from him. That's Carlos Truther. Behind him, the 51 red and white machine. Malik Ray to the bottom now, throwing the block, trying to take the lead and steal it. And goodbye, Malik Ray off a turn 2. Still about 21, 22 laps to go in this race, but Malik Ray from 11th has found his way up to the front. Jacob Schneider also, while his opponent in the rivals, I guess, or in the point standings.
Here we go, Benjamin White. Pulls up, gets the push. 3 wide back here at the front. Oh, contact. Trouble. Oh, there's a wreck. Malik Ray.
Jacob Schneider involved. I was just telling him how good of a job he was, doing exactly what I had to do to make up ground on Dean Brumman. Came in this 118 points out and leaving on a rollback.
Just, I'm not sure that the 14 knew they were 3 wide. And that just wrecked a bunch of them. You see the Benjamin pulls up, gets the push here. That leaves a big run there. Malik's kind of a sit and duck. They're all passing him on either side. 14 just turns down like he does another 3 wide, and then the wreck ensues. Not a good night for the Mountain Dew cars, boys. Or the green cars, I guess I should say. Not a good night for the green cars.
That was Edward Sanchez in the 14 there that called them. Good record on it.
And that 14 is driving around, but that thing is hopping. That thing's hopping bad. It's got a broken right front shock or something there in that 14 car. Looks like a lot of guys are choosing to come into pit road. Malik, we saw him in that wreck. We'll have to see how bad his damage is. And that's what Dean needed. You know,
number 6 of Thomas Reed also involved in that one. I'm not really sure how the 14 of Edward Sanchez is making it around track. He literally slid. He was sideways wall riding with only his bottom or left side wheels touching the track, and then sliding down the entire track, ended up on his wheels. So that was really awesome. He's able to finish this. That's going to be really sweet to see, but obviously a lot of heavy damage.
Yeah, that right front shock's broke, though. As he was coming around the pit road, it was bouncing pretty bad, like he was driving through a ditch.
You had 2 drivers stay out, Garrison Hogan in the 8 and Jordan Brinkley in the 16. Couple guys trying to make up some track position. They might have pit earlier in the run and just trying to make up some time. Jordan Brinkley, started all the way back in 22nd. That truck, I'm assuming didn't qualify. So all the way up in the 2nd place, restarted on the front row. He might be able to change things up, as we're over halfway in this race.
Yeah, we're right at halfway. Garrison's a fast guy. That's a guy I would not be surprised to win this thing. Dean's back in the race. It's been aggressive, though. To run up at the front, you got to be aggressive and stay aggressive, and that leads to some of the wrecks we've seen. But
that might have been a blessing in disguise for Dean.
We are going to throw it to our sponsors for a quick word here, and we'll be with you shortly.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
And welcome back to the Maconi Setup Shop C-Fix trucks. We are coming to the restart here about, I don't know, 15 or 20 seconds away. So we've had a lot of wrecks tonight, guys. Lots of cars are out of it. Some guys are riding around. Do you think we can still ride around and get back to the front, or is it time to race?
I mean, look at Malik Ray. He's way back and back. He was up towards the front. He looked pretty good to go for the most part, considering what happened. But that guy like Thomas Reed, a little bit of damage there. Snyder, a whole lot of damage, missing his whole front bumper. So if we get ready to go green, some of the guys definitely out for the count.
Green is out. Great restart for the inside lane up at the front. Garrison Hogan, big push. He's going to get clear down here into turn number 1. But they're coming back on the top with another big run. Side by side down into 3, 2x2 for the first, I don't know, 4 rows there. Before we have a little bit of a buffer.
It's still Garrison, Hogan, and Jordan Brink, their front row. Normally, by this point after restart, things have gotten shuffled quite a bit, but these guys are still going at it. Garrison started 14th, and Jordan started 22nd. It's a lot of heavy movers. Brady Powers up in the 7th after starting 20th. Scott Ricard, in 8th after starting 19th. A lot of these guys that started in the back have now kind of played the patience game. We're over halfway in this race, and they said it's go time. You actually see a huge bump. That's Jordan Brinkley taking the point for a second, coming through 3 and 4.
Yeah,
Garrison
look how hard
knocked
he's getting pushed. That second truck in line's basically pushing his truck and driving it for him, just laying on him. We saw, I believe that is Benjamin White. We saw him do that earlier. He is the most aggressive pusher out here. But that's kind of what you want if you think it's time to go. You want somebody behind you who's just going to lay into you and see where it's at. They're going to try to make a third lane back there around 12th or 14th or so. We'll have to see if that's going to work or not. They've got Justin Fuller right in the middle.
You can get that top line working really well, but you gotta have someone that really trusts you and really commits to you. Currently, you got Justin Batalo, who's been a active competitor here in the S.O.F races, and you also got I believe the number 20 of Ryan Joyner, who currently has the fastest lap of the race at 30.03, I do believe.
Oh, Benjamin White with the big Houdini there, a big blank. But here comes that third lane. They got 4 trucks lined up now.
That's Gavin Gleitzman, who wrecked the 81-18 of John Hagan earlier in the race. I went back on lap 2, lap 3. So he's kind of made his way back in his lead pack and now trying to take advantage of this empty outside lane. Lee Gray still kind of in the lead pack. Jack Mace is about half second or so off, but Johnny Masevich and Jeffrey Maconi have actually kind of started tandeming about a second half off the seat pack. Jacob Snyder really can't keep up the pace, about 30-ish miles an hour off power. He's 6-7 seconds off the seat pack already, so he's dropping fast, and his odds of finishing up front, making up some ground on Dean Brummett, not looking too good. Speaking of, Dean Brummett is still inside the top 10 barely, but most importantly, he's back in the lead pack.
Yeah, and it's really crazy and racy right up here at the front of this lead pack right now. This is the best green run we've had all night, but it looks like those guys on the bottom are starting to have a harder time holding it on the bottom. And that third lane's coming strong.
They're still 3 wide for this lead. Jabo trying to make some magic happen on the outside. For now, it's still just him and Ryan Joyner.
Oh, contact! Garrison Hogan's around! Somehow they're going to get through that with just 1 car. The leader just got turned across the whole field and nobody hit him. Absolutely incredible.
catch a replay here. Coming off turn 4. That's a little bit of contact between actually the second place car and Carlos Truther. Truther was the second place car on the inside, and Jordan Brinkley was on the outside. And that's a little bit of net code and kind of a bad spot. Brinkley gets kind of sucked down, and nowhere for Garrison to really go. I mean, he was minding his own business. Next thing you know, he's getting right hooked into the wall. So had such a strong run. That's obviously going to tear up a lot on the front end, getting hooked in the wall at 150 miles an hour. Doesn't actually look too bad. Might be able to recover smoothly, recover nicely, get most of that fixed, and give it a shot. As we are now within the 10 left to go window.
Yeah, as far as green flag racing goes, I think we're just going to get a bunch of little restarts now. But yeah, Garrison, not looking terrible. Like I said, it's incredible to get turned across the field like that. And nobody's going to hit you when they're running 2 and 3 wide. And you're not going to hit the wall any harder than that. So he was able to get it and maybe broadside it on the driver's door a little bit more than the nose. Because taking a look, that nose looks fine. Looking here at the Garrison Hogan machine.
No, it's incredible.
It's just a whole left side, but you know what? I think he'll still draft, right? He'll be fine. Here comes more pitters. We see Malik Ray down there in a bunch of group of pitters here. Jack's down there. Rocky's down there. Joey's in the pits.
I don't want to say this word, but we might be getting in the green-white checker territory. We do have one if we need it. If you aren't familiar with the green-white checkered rules, I'm going to go over them real quick. It's just simple green-white checkered. We take the green flag, we take the white flag, and then we take the checkered. If we reach the white flag without wrecking, there will be no caution past that point. If we do wreck on that first lap after a green flag, so before we reach the white flag lap, we will restart, and that will be the race. Everyone get double filed up, and that's it. So if you wreck on the last lap, you know, it's interesting who make it through, who doesn't. That can really shake up the points. So we don't want to obviously figure out where we end up in that. I don't think we've actually have had that many green-white checkered finishes this season in the S.O.F races. But, of course, we always love a good championship player and love to go out on a bang.
Yeah, and we're not there yet. We got, 10 laps? Going to be probably 8 to go when we get the green. So we got time for another caution and a restart before we get into the green-white checker territory just yet.
And we can also do a natural green-white checker too if we have to. So we rack in 2-3 laps, we'll take a natural green-white checkered. Take the green with 2 laps to go, then take the white flag. And even if we still on lap 39 out of 40, once we reach that white flag, we are past the point of no return. It's all out, hands out, start swinging, boys and girls, because it's first one to the checkered flag at that point. I've seen guys go from 20th to first in 2 corners at a track like this. So, I mean, at that point, it's all out. If we do wreck it before we get that white flag, we will go ahead and try it one more time, and that will be our 1 green-white checkered attempt. So all is on the table, and all is possibly taken away. So Jacob Schneider, though, still in the lead lap, actually got some damage fix, has a front bumper once again. It's not the smoothest front bumper, but Jacob Schneider back in this one. I don't know how competitive he'll be, but he's going to go ahead and give it a shot, try and make up as many points as he can here tonight on Dean Brahman, and maybe, just maybe, still a cheap championship.
Yeah, and at this point, the way this race is went, I'll be surprised if we don't use the green-white checker. I mean, I don't want to. It'd be nice if we run green from here to the end and get to see a great race play out, but based on what we've seen tonight, I don't think that's in the cards for us.
No. Not one bit. But we'll see how it plays out. I'm excited. I'm on the edge of my seat. I hope everyone at home watching is too, as we get ready for an 8-lap shootout. It's taken us 12 weeks to get here, and we're finally ready to crown a championship. All it's going to take is 8 laps on this beautiful 1.5-mile super intermediate speedway, and it's time to crown a champ.
Yeah, and our race leader is Jordan Brinkley, and he's going to bring us down here into the restart zone. And green is out. He gets a great jump, maybe too good. Third place, Justin Batella did not get a great start. That's really going to hurt the inside lane, and we know how aggressive Benjamin's been pushing. Justin's going to bail on that bottom side, almost like that was by design.
Yeah, we saw Jabo there already leading that third line, trying to put himself back in a position where he can lead it once more. He's got his good friend, that's Joyner right behind him in the 20 truck. So these two absolutely sent around the top, made up about 5 to 10 spots easily. As they're going to go 3 wide, looking for the lead. Almost a block here by Benjamin White. That would have ended real ugly. Didn't quite have the room, but Taylor still running that high side, trying to make a magic room happen. Carlos Truther on the bottom, blocking somehow 3 wide from second. But Jordan Brinkley still on point, started dead last, trying to end up in victory lane tonight.
Yeah, that was pretty aggressive there down into that corner, but they made it work, made it stick. Benjamin's going to go to the top of 3 wide for the lead. 3 wide all the way back, boys. This is 3 by 3. Benjamin's going to get clear.
Jabo was
clear by a lot.
White. Yeah, that was almost too big of a push.
Yeah, he's going to have to try to block about 2 or 3 lanes at least right here. He chooses the bottom as the lane he wants to be in. Get down here to turn 1, just 3 incredible action right here. 3 by 3 by 3.
I mean, you got 3 by 3 sandwich going on here. One bad move, one wrong turn to take out the entire field and their grandmas at this rate. Benjamin White still on the bottom, but not for long.
Contact! Oh,
in the wall!
Oh, big.
Still wrecking.
Absolutely huge wreck here. Jordan Brinkley is over there. Ryan Joyner.
Remember I said about bad bump?
Edward Sanchez is in it. Jacob Schneider. Bunch of cars over there.
I hated to see that Jordan Brinkley had such a strong run going. Started dead last. It was up well inside, their top 10 at least, and led quite a bit of laps tonight, but go home in pieces.
Here it is. The car on the bottom came up, got the guy in the middle. Guy in the middle came up. Just not a lot of room for error when you're 3 by 3 by 3. And some of those guys were on a little bit older tires. We saw him kind of struggling to hold the bottom at the end of that last run, and we'll see it right here. He's pushing on the bottom. Second car in line on the bottom, he's pushing. Just gets up the track a little bit, makes contact, turns the leader up. Benjamin White's very lucky to escape that right there. That very easily could have been Ben's race.
That's insane. Carlos Cooper with that truck on the bottom caused that. And ironically, I believe he comes away with the lead. Caused the big one and comes out in front. So, a lot of guys lucky, a lot of guys not so lucky. Benjamin White just mentioned. Look at it save in that 99 truck. I mean, it was basically going straight towards that wall. Dean Brown makes it through his championship, hope still alive.
Yeah, that was a championship wreck avoidance right there by Dean. That probably solidified his championship, being able to miss that wreck, because a lot of guys aren't going to continue from that wreck. So that was a very, maybe the biggest wreck he's ever missed on the sim.
Definitely one of the most important by far.
And let me tell you, turning across that apron like that from that banking, that's no easy task to stay in control of your race car.
Demos also a little bit of damage there. He keeps it going straight for the most part. Got some other guys. Jabo, of course, heavily involved. Scott Ricard, we talked about him a little bit tonight. Heavily involved, damage for him. Ryan Joyner had the fastest lap of the night. Was looking real strong on the outside with Jabo. A lot of damage for him as well. To see Jabo there in the pit, still getting some damage fixed. So was high up as third at one point. Actually had some good wreck avoidance. He was in that almost in that lap 29 wreck, where all those guys came up top and you had one guy get on the side. So far a lot of good wreck avoidance, but couldn't avoid that one. Obviously no fault of his own. As we're getting ready for a green white checker shootout, I believe, a natural green white checker, natty light.
Yeah, natural one. So we got time if they wreck on this first lap. We'll line them up and do it one more time.
12 weeks, and it comes down to a natural green-white checkered.
There's not a lot of clean cars left. I mean, I'm looking here. Jacob Schneider's not caught up. Scott's not caught up. There's a bunch. There's only about 12, 13 guys that are going to be able to, in my opinion, have
a lot of trouble keeping up that last pack. Maconi and Joey Masevich have been playing it smart, playing it cool, and playing it calm all night. I mean, they have basically just laid far as back as they can, but still being in the draft to make a run if they need. And I mean, they put themselves in a really good position. They have a really good truck. They're lining up side by side in 11th and 12th. So look for Jeffrey Maconi and Joey Masevich possibly trying to make a Maconi move up to the front. We've seen them do it before at IRSS a couple weeks ago. Were fantastic in their drafting and tandem work, and they're trying to maybe do something nice. We get ready. 12 weeks ago, we came into this not really sure what to expect. And now we're getting ready to finally put a nail in the coffin. Carlos Truther, and that's Benjamin White side by side, going to lead us down to a green-white checkered.
Yep, Dean's running 5th right now. He's on the championship watch. But like I said, I picked him to win the race and the championship. He wants to go out in style. As we come into the restart box, Green is out. Takes off a little early. Ooh, maybe a little too early. I don't know if you want to get a big lead. He's going to have to pick one lane and block it. Benjamin's been the pusher all race. Now he's the guy that's going to need the push. He's got it. They're connected on the top.
That's Demos there in the 5 machine around the outside, helping Benjamin White. These two, I know, racing against each other a lot on sim. Carlos Truther, Benjamin White still side by side. Demos with the push to the top. That's Justin Egan to the push on the bottom. Look at the little squirrely coming through 3 and 4. Remember, we hit that white flag. It's good night. All right, fights out. Get ready to their boxing glove.
Dead even,
we
too.
Should get there.
Yeah, we're going to get to the white. Dead even. Malik Ray taking him 3 wide. That's putting your championship leader in the middle. Oh, they're 4 wide contact. Dean's going to spin. Dean's going to spin. We'll have to check out the championship points later. Let's call this finished. Benjamin White's going to run up here on the top. No help on the bottom.
5 cars left. That's Fuller, Malik Ray.
Oh, for the bottom. He's going to throw a block. They're going to get
Demos.
together.
Demos won a couple weeks ago, Irish Super Speedway. He's
Side
trying to
by
go
side.
2 Speedways in a row.
Oh, man. What a finish. 4
I believe
5
it.
cars
Demos.
under a blanket. Yeah,
Demos,
Daniel with the
you-
win. Daniel, Benjamin, Justin Fuller, Jack Mace, Malik Ray. Carlos is going to come home 6th. Justin, Garrison, Jacob Schneider, Joey. We're waiting on our point leader. He's going to come across 17th. I don't know how the points work, but is that enough, boys, for him to win the championship?
It's going to be iffy. He lost a lot of room. Jacob Snyder rebounded all the way to 9th. We're going back and see his finish. That's Demos on the bottom. That's Ben White outside. Used a bump from Justin Fuller below the line and barely squeezes across to steal the win. He did it at Irish Super Speedway. He does it again. He had a very successful run at Talladega all the way back in week 3. But Demos has been dominant at these Super Speedways. And he goes ahead and puts on a show tonight for the fans. Use that apron, make the move, get below Benjamin White. Nothing White could have done there. And side by side, it was a drag race that entire short shoot. And you see the bump there, and they're basically 4 or 5 wide for the win. As for a championship, it's not quite over yet. The way Iverson does their points, they have a couple drop weeks to include in. But Dean Brummett definitely not the night he wanted. Avoided some damage and some catastrophe early on, but still loses a lot of points to Jacob Snyder. Now Snyder could have had a lot better of a night, but still was able to rebound tonight. I don't think it's going to be that much, or it's going to be enough to really seal the deal here. But it's definitely going to help, as they still have the rest of this week to actually finish it out. But with this being the highest S.O.F race, it's hard to make up points. So obviously not the night that some of these drivers wanted. I will actually give you a live update.
And Dean thinks he did enough. So he's out here doing burnouts and celebrating. So I guess we can call that a champion, right?
I'm doing the math just real quick. It's going to be close. I can tell you that now. By my math, Dean Brummett has it by 6 points. Now the way iRacing does official scoring, it takes your top 25% of your attempts and take your top 4% and averages them together. So Dean Brummett still has a chance to race throughout this whole week and build more points, but he definitely has a nice cushion that he can run 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 more races if he wanted to throughout this week. Obviously, none of them will have the same effect as this race with it being a higher strength of field, but I would definitely call Dean Brummett your Season 2 Maconi Sub Shop C-Fix Truck Series champion from Virginia.
And that car's falling apart here on the front stretch. He's leaving nothing left.
I mean, his race, he about left everything there on the pit road wall. And there are a couple laps to go.
Not a clean race for the guy that came in as the point leader. He had that spin on the front stretch. He was involved in the last lap wreck there when they got 4 wide down into turn 1. But just enough.
I believe we do have Demo Sure Winner waiting on standby along with Dean Brummett. So we're going to go ahead and catch a chat with one of these two drivers first. But man, regardless, what a race.
Yeah, and we are now joined by race winner Daniel Demos here. Daniel, talk to us about how you got it done, and take us through that last lap. There it was a little bit crazy.
I have no idea how I won that. I really don't. I think Egan blew up. I don't know who was on the inside, second inside on the last lap, but he blew a motor. No, he self spun, I think. And I was pushing white clear. I saw it was clear. Entering three, and I made a move, and I was to his left rear quarter panel, and he kept blocking, so I did the safest option, and I still went for it. I just went flat, and then the apron. I slid up into him. Thankfully, it didn't spin him, and I was able to stay side by side. And then from there, we were just door banging to the line. And I think he would have won, but I got a last second push when I dipped to the apron to cut as much of the track as I could, and yeah, got the W.
Yeah, and I'll hand you off here to Brayton. Brayton, you got anything here for Daniel?
Demos, you've actually been kind of the guy at super speedways. So, I mean, you won at iRacing Super Speedway. You had a real successful couple runs back at Talladega way back in week 3, and you find yourself in victory lane tonight. Is there a secret to the trade you want to go and tell everyone? What makes you so much better at these races? Do you put yourself in a good position to win, or go and tell us a little bit about that?
I don't know. I've just been super lucky with everything and how it's played out. I really don't know how I do it because I'm definitely not the best super speedway racer. I happen to be right place, right time. Basically all the time. I mean, I don't know if y'all have mentioned it, but I have swept the super speedway races for the S.O.F races, which that's kind of crazy to think about, knowing how highly competitive these races are with big names. So it's really cool to sweep it, and yeah, I can't wait for next season. Hopefully, I could make it 4 in a row in the super speedways for the S.O.F races.
I mean, you swept excellently. I mean, you kind of put on a clinic. You kept it clean, and congratulations on your first place run. Anybody you want to thank?
Want to thank you guys for broadcasting. Everybody that was in the race, it was a lot of fun. Want to thank Benjamin A. White. He was working with me the whole race, and I'm glad we secured a 1-2. Um, the move definitely could have been better in 3 and 4, but I was there, and I'm not gonna lift on the last lap. I'm glad it worked out for both of us. So I'll probably run some more this week, but for now I'll have to, I'll enjoy this one.
All right, once again, congrats on your run, Demos, taking home the checkered flag tonight. And actually, the fun part about that, he only led one lap, and that was the most important one.
Yeah, that's the only one you needed, right? And we are now joined by our unofficial champion, but we think you got it pretty well wrapped up there, Dean. Take us through your race. It was not the easy or calm race that I'm sure you wanted coming in, but nonetheless, you survived, sort of, right? You didn't finish quite as good as you wanted to, getting caught up in that last wreck.
No, and that last wreck was absolutely avoidable. I mean, it's I get it. iRacing lets you go below the line there, and they don't penalize anything. But I mean, to throw a move like that, cram everybody 3 wide, it's not a smart move. And I get it. It's one race out of hundreds that run a day, but the move was made, and there was really nothing I could have done any different to try to block it. And then you've got cars coming from the outside, cars coming from the inside. I'm stuck in the middle 3 wide and just get turned across the field. I mean, I was in a fantastic points position there. I mean, I finished third, fourth, fifth, whatever it is. I mean, I'm definitely going to get some more points. I mean, kind of looking at the numbers the way that they stack up right now. I mean, with drop weeks left, yeah, cool. I've still got it, but at the same time, it's frustrating to go run a race, avoid all the carnage, and then just a stupid last lap move winds up potentially. I'm going to have to sit here all week now and obviously watch the points just to see what comes about. But I mean, just to go from a good points finish to that, it just absolutely stupid.
Yeah, and you mentioned the last lap, but we saw it all race there. So to take us through that, like, does there need to be something that iRacing needs to do, or the drivers maybe need to have the unwritten rule, like we have at Daytona Talladega, where we don't go below that yellow line? Is that something that needs to happen here, or is there any way to address it moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, there was a point in time with iRacing where if you went below the yellow line at Daytona or Talladega, they would black flag you if you advanced your position. Now I get it; they did away with it because sometimes you would incorrectly get a black flag if you went below the line to avoid a wreck. But I mean, honestly, as much as systems have improved with iRacing, I just look at the fact that they've added a restart zone that used to not be there. And I mean, if they can figure that out, they can figure out detection and, below the yellow lines and things like that. I mean, at that point in time, it's not going to save me anything. Even if somebody gets black flagged for going under the line, I'm still going to get wrecked there. But I mean, like I said, at this point, I should be happy because the way that I figured points going in, it was going to take me gaining absolutely nothing and Jacob Schneider getting 302 to get past his lowest drop week to gain the points on me. So, I mean, I should be happy right now, but I'm just so frustrated just because of what I just witnessed.
Well, this was my first race of the season, so I'll go ahead and say congrats on the season, congrats on the championship, and I will hand you off here to Brayton and see what he's got for you.
Yeah, Dean, we've talked it quite a bit. You had a real strong Dixon streak. I mean, you were tied, at one point close to halfway around the season. You just kind of came out of nowhere. You had 6 top 5 straight finishes, and these last 2 weeks just haven't been great for you. If you're not counting this week and last week, you had an average finish of, I believe, 2.83 in these past 2 races combined. Just these two, they're looking around 18 and a half. So not the greatest, final couple races you went, but I think you had such a strong performance there in the middle of the season. You came alive. You were consistent. You showed excellent record points tonight. And I mean, I've watched you for most of the season. You've done a fantastic job. But you want to kind of talk about what it takes to put together a whole championship run and build like a huge gap that you had?
Well, I tell you what, it takes a lot from top to finish or from top to bottom. I mean, I ran pretty well in just about every race. I feel like that I ran in, other than the ones I got wrecked. I mean, I know I got wrecked at Iowa, got wrecked at California, which Auto Club, here's the thing. It was me and Joey, and him and me talked about it. It wasn't really so much got wrecked, just bad place, bad time, dirty air, and get wrecked here tonight. I mean, I could have won Martinsville. I was within a fender or two or within an inch or two of getting my fender or front fender clear of Parker Retzlaff before the caution came out, and could have potentially restarted that race. Led a bunch of Phoenix, and cautions came out, and 2 tire strategies came into play, and then cautions bred cautions. I have nothing with this season to really hang my head on to say, hey, I did bad. I got my one win at Las Vegas. It's been a long season, and it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of understanding the vehicles. you know Definitely want to put my thanks up to God for giving me the ability to drive these virtual race cars, and my wife for all the patience along the way with it. So I mean, it's a lot that goes into a season, and hopefully I can carry some momentum. And I know for a fact I'm going to be watching points this week and panicking every step of the way.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your championship run, and hopefully you aren't too stressed throughout this week, and hopefully you sealed the deal tonight. But once again, congratulations, and thank you for running with us so far.
Hey, thank you guys. Have a great evening.
That was Dean Brummett. Your supposed asterisk mark next to it should be Season 2, Maconi Setup Shop, C6 Truck Series champion. Put together an excellent run all season long, and I'm sure we'll see him back in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I only got to be here for this last race of the season, but it was exciting. Lots of 3 wide. We even saw a little bit of 4 wide out here in Atlanta, and we also saw why there isn't a lot of that is it didn't work very good. But I had a pleasure calling this race with you guys. Any final thoughts from you guys before I take us out?
I mean, you saw tonight why Dean Brummett deserved the championship. Had excellent rack avoidance. The racing was fantastic across the board. Classic Atlanta style racing, and I just can't wait for Season 3 to start up December 11th.
Yeah, the next broadcast for the C-Fix, for the Maconi Setup Shop C-Fix series, will be week 1, starting all over again, Monday, December 11th at 7:15. Thank you to the race sponsor, Maconi Setup Shop, as well as our broadcast partner, Maconi Compete Zone. How do I say that? Competizone. There we go. Calling the action tonight was myself, Chris Wright, alongside Brayton Lassiter. And in the booth was Bradley Cooper producing. Thanks to all our viewers for watching tonight's racing action, and hope you will stay tuned to all of our social media pages for the next race. Thanks to the entire staff for the work and bringing the racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment, and we'll see you next time.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.